Hi guys, welcome to Foreplay Podcast, a safe place for all things sex. Remember, if you're ready for sex, you're ready to talk about it. Welcome to another motherfucking episode of Foreplay Podcast, everybody.
Yeah.
Round of applause.
We're back.
Okay,
we're back. And we're fucking freezing.
Yeah, it's cold.
It's cold.
It's officially, today I watched out of the windows of the place that I work and watched the snow fall over the course of 8 hours, and by the time I left, I could barely drive my car. Not because the snow was that bad, to be completely honest, but because I have winter tires on from 2 years ago that I have never taken off. So this hot, spicy summer where we took a few road trips, I burned all of the fucking tread off of my tires.
Yeah.
As smooth as a baby's bottom. Okay.
No.
I literally drove home from work for like 20 minutes. This morning, though, take in. It was sunny. It was gorgeous. I drove to work. There was like the mild few snowflakes in the air.
You're like, wow, this is nice. It
Yeah.
won't stick.
Straight up going 120 on the white mud. Not a care in the world. Coming home from work, I'm going 50 and a 60. There is no way I will survive this.
50 to 60? You know how fast I was going on the Henday today? 70.
You know what?
I was
so
afraid.
funny.
I hate people like you.
It was so funny because Jada and I took the wrong turn getting here. After we'd like spun out 8 different times, but I'm just like, no, that's fine. Yeah, that's a whole story. But then, wow, fuck, I lost my
We spun out on the way here.
Yeah, and then
One of those days.
Third take.
Yeah. Shit. We're just
back to
We're just gonna leave that there.
That was that story.
God damn it, what was I saying?
Yeah, something about the roads. We tried to turn onto the on-ramp and then you tried to drift, maybe?
No.
Of course you did.
I know, it
Yeah.
was terrible.
It was,
This is why I don't get into your car.
I know.
But you get into mine?
I know.
God damn
Well,
it.
the last time I got into your car.
Yeah, so winter is here. There's snow on the ground. This is when all feeling drifts away.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
truly does.
This is when
Yeah.
you're finally being like, oh, it's been seasonal depression this whole time, but I get it now.
Yeah, this is
Like,
when
I
I
actually kind of clicked in that that's what was happening.
And the
Yeah.
funny thing is, we think this is rock bottom because there's no denying it anymore, but just wait until like January.
Oh,
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
Totally.
I'm driving on the way to the studio today, again, going 70 in a 100 zone, and I'm looking at the road, and I just went, damn.
Just
Yeah.
starts bawling in
Yeah.
your vehicle. But today
Yeah.
we're going to talk about virginity because we've all been there. We all had it. We all lost it, whatever that means.
yeah, whatever that means.
Yeah, seriously though. So,
Unpure.
yeah, apparently
Yeah.
a lot of us. But
Going to hell.
yeah, see you there. Maddie's accepted her fate as a religious woman. Okay,
Yeah.
that means there's no turning back.
So just like the whole construct of virginity and everything we were raised to believe.
yeah, there's a bunch of things to talk about when it comes to virginity.
Yeah.
Yeah, the conversation is definitely an ongoing one, and perception, I think, is the biggest thing when it comes to that. Like, what was your experience? What have you learned now? And, like, how does that compare? But before all of that mildly political-seeming stuff, let's get into what the fuck is new. We talked about seasonal depression, so how you doing?
Honestly, not
Size.
awesome.
Not awesome.
No.
I would say terrible, actually.
Oh.
Out of just the last few weeks, it's just been like getting up in the morning and just not wanting to do, like, work doesn't excite me anymore. And yeah, it's just like not like me.
Yeah.
So, and like I'll do all of the things that I know will make me feel better.
Yeah.
And I'm just like saying like, just like doing my journaling, trying to get more sleep,
Yeah.
like
Being present.
masturbating, like saying affirmations while I masturbate. Like I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I'm going to feel good in the morning. And then I wake up and I don't feel good.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, so I'm just riding that wave until, yeah.
Until
Until
we're all
Mercury's in retrograde. I don't know.
Yeah, out of retrograde.
Out of retrograde.
Seriously though, like welcome to the club, man. Like I don't know, it sucks when that's the thing about mental health. It sucks when there's nothing you can physically do to change that, and you just have to like sit in it for a little bit. But good for you for trying. I said this earlier, but
yeah, just processing.
Seriously though, it's good to keep those habits, those things that make you happy, because it's easy to just like abandon all of those when you feel like shit and then decide I'm not worth it anymore. But those habits are things that make you happy when you do have a grip on reality, you know what I mean? In those fleeting moments. So yeah, it's you're staying true to yourself.
Yeah,
you know?
and also just not having the energy like I did in the summer. You know, because it was just warm, it was light out all the time. Yeah. Like I would hang out with like you guys more.
Yeah, literally like every day. We were like, so what's the plan?
Life was so good back then.
Yeah, man.
So that's been getting to me, but
it's tough. Thank God we have this once a week gig over here.
Yeah, no kidding.
Seriously.
It's really therapy.
It honestly is, honestly. So cheers to that. Cheers to conversation.
Yeah. What about you, G?
Yeah, like today I'm having a hard time processing, and I feel like I'm in the stages of like mourning a death, and I feel like I'm in the like denial stage, which is like fucked up. But in like
regards,
just like in regards to like the snow and like what time it is, like what month it is, what year it is, just like all of it. I feel like I'm in a weird like time warp, and I just like I don't know. All day I was like, where did the summer go? And I was like, oh yeah, we didn't really have a summer, and then all of a sudden it's like snowing.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
You know?
And like we had so much time to do that day-to-day stuff, which like again enriches us, and like had time to like solidify solid habits and just like be our like genuine selves with very little responsibility. So that was beautiful. But we didn't get to like, I feel like you wind up all winter just to like go fucking nuts in the summer. Go on trips, go experience things, go grow like exponentially. And I feel like we did that like home growing. That like those little things.
Yeah.
And I feel like our summer we got while we were still in quarantine. Because we were like hanging out all the time. Yeah. Like staying up at your house way too fucking late. Playing video games. On the like the VR. Like that was fun.
Times were simpler back then.
Yeah. What about you, Maddie?
So
Okay. Kind of weird. So I've been on my medication for like, I want to say 2 weeks now, maybe a little bit more. And I'm in the process of processing that, you know, you're never told when you start taking medication, you're still going to have bad days, which is a given, but you're just never told that. Yeah. You think, oh, I'm just going to take this and magically be happy and not want to die all the time, right? Yeah. And I'm processing still having bad days, and my bad days are still pretty bad, and I also feel like I've hit a wall where, you know, I feel better but I'm not going further. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
wow. What do you think that, like, I'm just curious, I've never been on medication for mental health. What do you think that is? Not that there has to be a reason, but like, because we talked about, I think a few weeks ago, I don't know if we talked about it on the pods also, so feel free to like cut this out, but we talked about like medication possibly being a way to give you like a baseline to go off of, so all those things you do that make you happy can like make more of a difference.
Yeah.
What do you think that looks like for you?
I think that's true. I mean, my baseline definitely is higher than what it was, but my medication also takes 6 weeks to fully kick in, and I've only been taking it for 2 weeks, so I'm not really
still
sure
getting used
yet.
to it.
Yeah.
Just kind of wondering if it's worth it. Is that kind of where you are?
I mean, it definitely has made enough of a difference where I'm like, yes, I want to keep taking this, but I don't know. It's just like a weird journey.
Yeah.
Do you find that it gives you more energy throughout the day?
I take it at night.
Oh, okay. Do you wake up earlier and like, okay,
I can
barely go to bed earlier.
No.
But do you find when you wake up you have more energy?
No.
Okay.
I go to bed at like 4 and I sleep until like 1:30. Yeah, I'm a lazy piece of shit.
No, not at all.
No,
not at all.
But yeah. Doing great.
You're also working at those hours.
Yeah.
That is
Like,
true. That is true.
That's so.
Well,
You just
hopefully-
work night shift all the
Exactly.
time.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
That's just your lifestyle. There's no right or wrong. Time is not real.
I just feel like I'm programmed to think that if you don't wake up at 9 and you're not at work, that you're lazy.
Yes.
And you're not
Yeah.
being productive.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when I'm sitting on my ass at home on fucking TikTok for hours because I don't need to be working until like 10 p.m.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I'm being lazy. I'm not being productive.
Yeah.
And then that also has effects on my mental health.
Well, you gotta just get that judgment out of your head,
Ego
and then
death.
you'll be literally ego death, because then you'll just have more space to have it sitting there in case you do want to pick up a new hobby or
Yeah.
do whatever you think would be productive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
That's true.
but if you have all those judgments, you don't have any space for it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Your mind is too busy
Mhm.
treating yourself like shit. But also, meeting you where you are. Your productivity or your worth is not based on your productivity.
Yeah.
Remember that. Write that on your mirror.
That's a good idea.
It's an important thing to
But
read.
Maddie's testing out my 8-week program, my ebook.
Whoa.
Yeah. So she's testing it out for me.
That's huge. What do you
Yeah.
mean? Whoa.
Yeah.
I also bought a new journal.
Exactly.
Dude, literally 7 months
Self-care.
ago, you were like, I don't think I could work out. I think it would kill me. And look at you now.
Mhm.
There was a large break in between actually working out and now, but yes.
Doesn't matter. All counts.
It really does count, you know? I feel like it's so easy to see the shitty parts or like the holes in our progress. But healing isn't linear. Nothing's really linear. You know what I mean?
And it's good to brag about it and be like, fuck yeah, go
Yeah.
me. Like,
Yeah.
I did that.
Yeah, that's true.
And I'm going to do it again.
Oh,
That's true.
hell yeah.
Yeah, I just want to stop being out of breath when I walk up the stairs.
Me too.
Because there was a time I was very in shape.
Yeah.
Like during the summer we were all working out, I was in the best shape I've ever been in.
Yeah.
Wow.
And now-
that's so
It's
huge.
crazy how much of a difference.
Oh,
I worked out for like
huge.
half an hour the other day, and Em had sent me a workout like a few weeks ago, and I finally got around to it, and I had 2 parts to the actual workout after the warm-up. I did the warm-up, and the first part was exhausted and sore for days, but 3
Mhm.
months ago I could have done it no problem.
Yeah.
I'd be annoyingly chipper about it, and you guys know that for a fact.
Yes.
But yeah, no, you did it. You moved your body for no reason other than you
Mhm.
thought it would serve yourself.
Yeah.
So
I used to
that's-
go paintballing for like 10 hours a day and not be tired.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yep.
I don't know that person. Because
Yep.
it ain't fucking me.
Yeah.
Well,
her.
She's in there.
Let's scoot on over to Beach and Meat, which I kind of just wanted to talk about this for a little bit, but I don't really have a new toy, but I've shifted the focus away from Wandy just for a little bit.
Okay.
Just to like
Okay.
give Wandy a break, and picked up the We Vibe Tango again.
Okay.
It's a tiny
Ah.
little bullet. It's
Yeah.
about $100. It's still after using Wandy for months,
Yeah.
pretty much just as powerful, which is
I love that.
crazy, super crazy. But I just was wondering, it begs the question, do you ever just like switch it up for fun? Do you ever switch it up to like lessen your tolerance to one toy, or like what is that?
I've
you know?
thought about it.
Yeah.
For sure. Because lately I've been using my vibrator every time I masturbate, and
Yeah.
like sometimes I'll use my hands before, but lately I haven't. I'm like, can I go back?
Yeah.
I'm scared that I
Oh,
can't.
I'm not ready to go back to my hand
Oh,
because
not
my
even
hand can't do the work
close.
that Wandy or the
No.
Tango can do.
I use my hand a lot.
Whoa.
I used to too.
Only because I feel like I've just maybe I'm crazy. I just know it so well that I know how to make myself come like very fast.
See, that's me with a vibrator.
Yeah.
I know exactly where it goes.
Yeah.
goddamn, it takes me so long still.
With your hand or your vibrator?
Both,
Whoa.
which is fine.
No, of
No,
course.
that's
but-
really fun.
My
You
hand
were
feels
like that, loser.
Like try 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Because I
NASCAR.
do like the build up, but then I'm like, okay, let's like I'm ready.
I think the thing with me is I don't come as hard with my hand, and I want to come as hard as I do with a vibrator.
That's true.
Love that.
You know?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't know, my hand feels like a foreign object down there. Like,
Yeah.
like whose hand is this?
Yeah.
Not
Some people
mine.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Use your left hand, switch it up.
Yeah.
With Wandy though, because Wandy has a different feeling
Yeah.
than like
Mhm.
other
Mhm.
vibrators.
Yeah,
so
it's-
sometimes it's too rumbly. I'm like, this isn't it
This is
today.
Jackhammering my pussy.
Exactly. So then I
Yeah.
just switch it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. let it rest a little.
But yeah, these two haven't met in a long time.
Yeah.
Huh.
Oh, have you ever, just because we're talking about personal sex exploration, are you guys the people that finger yourself? That did not come out. Are you guys the people that finger yourselves? Because that's never been a way that I masturbate.
Never.
No.
I only have when I've like tried to. Like
Yeah.
I'm just like
Yeah.
trying it
Yeah.
out, but I
Yeah.
don't often.
Yeah, right? I've never full out, like, the clit just gets all the attention.
It
Yeah.
really does.
Yeah, sometimes I'll go in there every so often and be like, do I like this again? Or
Yeah.
like yet? And
Yeah.
it's just like, no.
Dildo, though, totally different story.
Mm-hmm.
But I, still can't make myself come with just a dildo along. I bought a huge dildo. Friends of mine, I went over for dinner, and they were showing me their dildos.
I love that.
And, that's just the kind of conversation that comes up organically. So that was amazing and to be
Yeah.
treasured. But I was, like, looking at them, and I was like, pussy shit. I was like, it's not even super long or anything, but, like, shit's wide as fuck.
Yeah.
So I just, like, whoa, that just popped
You
in
gotta
my head.
work it.
Yeah, like sometimes my partner will like fuck me with it if he's like come and I'm still like wanting to come again or whatever. So he'll like grab it and he'll just like
Oh my
ram
gosh.
it into my pussy and I'm like, do you know how big this is? I was like, can you like chill out? It's like ripping my innards out as it comes out.
Oh,
And I'm like,
no.
I know, I'm like, I'm not ready yet. I'm like, that's not how it happens. But I'm
Oh
also
my
like,
God,
oh
I'm
God.
just
I
picturing it.
can feel that.
Yes.
That I have goosebumps.
I'm picturing like the inside of like a pumpkin, like when
Yeah.
you're
Fucking carving my pumpkin. Oh,
that's
and it
all
has
the
like
inside being clean.
it has like it
Yeah.
looks like something was like poured on it, so it has those big bulbs where it's like
Mhm.
dripping liquid,
Goddamn.
and those just like man, it's unlike
Jesus.
anything you've ever felt before.
That's hilarious.
I want to see this dildo. Have I seen it
Yeah,
before?
yeah, my only dildo.
Oh,
The red one.
Oh my.
It's just so much
yeah.
bigger than I realize
Yeah.
sometimes. It's not your 9-inch dildo, and it's not 11 inches. I'll put that out there, but like shit's big.
Okay, compare it. Do you guys remember that picture I showed you of me
Yes.
wearing the strap on?
Can
you bring it?
Compare it to that.
Can you bring it up? Because I need to actually see it. Like I
the dildo.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I think it's like that big.
That's like maybe
And-
Strappy's a little bit.
I think Strappy's a
shorter.
little shorter.
Yeah.
That big, and then it's big.
Okay, you went from
thick or
about
thin?
6 inches to like 9 inches.
I would say
'Cause
like that.
That is what I feel like Strappy
I could
is.
show you the picture.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh my gosh,
show me
yeah.
the picture.
Oh my
Because-
god.
chaos.
Or do you know what it's called? We can straight. I want to know.
No,
I'm just curious because you said it was.
It's in my hidden photos.
That's hilarious.
I have to show you guys. This is hilarious.
Okay, 2 sweaters now. I want Maddie's picture on a sweater from her
Yep.
stripper
Yep.
her threesome story, and I want you in the strap on a sweater, which is the
Absolutely.
boobs like a X's on it or
Yeah.
something. The censored.
Yes.
It's like exactly what I want.
I cannot show this picture. Maybe
No.
on our Patreon.
Yeah, maybe
But-
on the Patreon. You guys will have to pay for this photo, but it's
Yeah.
worth every penny. That
But
you
it's
spend.
me
It's
wearing
too
the strap
good.
on, and then on Snapchat, I like edited it. So I put a cowboy hat on myself, and I put censored on my tits, and I put in the caption, "Save a horse, ride a strappy,"
Clever.
Art,
Iconic.
honestly.
and then a little sticker that said "Yeehaw."
So you'll see me wearing it as a hoodie one day.
No,
Yeah.
just one pic on the front, one on the back.
Yeah.
Like I'm dead ass serious.
Yeah. But anyways, okay, so comparing that dildo size.
6.25 inches and then 15 point. Oh wait, and the diameter is 1.5 inches. So like that big. Like from
And
finger
then
to
what
finger.
did you think about that picture?
I don't know. I can't tell. Like for me,
Okay.
it looks the same, but I don't know because it's also behind the harness.
True.
You know,
I don't.
because like I'm
That's
thinking
true.
of
I'll
thigh
bring it for you.
ratio. I'm like shit hits my thigh.
Yeah.
I'm like I don't know.
I'll
We'll
bring
have
it.
to-
We'll just
yeah.
put it as the centerpiece for that.
There we
episode.
go. We'll have to compare and
Yeah.
contrast.
Okay. Next episode.
Yeah, we'll do a little
Stay
swap.
tuned.
I'll bring mine.
There we go. Oh my gosh, yes, please.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks. Thanks for that.
Yeah. Anybody else have a beach and meat story?
No.
No new toys, no new switching it up, no saying goodbye to the right hand, saying hi to the left
No.
hand.
I do want. I don't know if we talked about this on a pod, but I do want to get a spreader.
Oh,
A spreader bar?
Yes.
Yeah, and I
Fuck
remember
yeah.
that story where you sent it to the wrong people. That's pretty funny.
Yes.
But I need
I'm
one.
still pissed about that.
Yeah.
Okay, I think
No.
it's time to scoot the fuck on
Okay.
to. That was real quick, but welcome to the ooey gooey, sticky, icky, dirty, filthy, nasty center of it all. That is still not growing on me, but that's okay.
What do you mean?
Okay,
They
we love it.
The
I
people
love it.
The
Yeah.
people love it. The people want the ooey gooey. Okay.
Yeah.
Today we are talking about virginity. Whoa, what the fuck? Who here is a virgin? Raise your hand. Oh, shut the fuck up. For those who are listening, Maddie raised her hand and I called her right out on it.
I just rebirthed myself this morning, actually.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
a
a thing.
born again virgin.
Oh.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say, does a baptism make you a virgin again?
because I said so, which is just it's even better than fucking
Somebody else considering what's virginity?
yeah.
Mhm.
Wow, that's crazy.
Me having like the rights to my own body.
Oh,
Not
full-on
allowed.
concept.
Yeah.
I read this post today, and it was just like some random fucking text post or whatever. But it was okay. So all men get vasectomies because they're reversible, and when they prove that they're responsible enough to be fathers or potentially have kids, then they can get their vasectomy like undone, and then they can have kids. And someone was like, "What the fuck?" And they were like, "Oh, whoa! Like somebody else having control of your body? Crazy!
Yeah.
What a concept!"
Like
You know, when we've already talked about the idea of like not being able to have like a hysterectomy or like, you know what I mean?
Plus, you know what's crazy?
What?
I saw this thing, and it was like a single man can get 9,000 women pregnant.
Yep.
Let's say every time they have sex, the woman gets pregnant. 9,000 women pregnant in a year or something like that. But a woman can only get pregnant every 9 months.
Yep.
And so it's like, why is it pushed onto women
Yeah.
that we are the ones that have to get like procedures done, take
Yep.
birth control? Why is that fall on us?
Because the universe doesn't like people with vulvas or ovaries or you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
this system was literally created on that.
yeah.
On women not having jobs,
Mm-hmm.
getting treated like shit all the time, not being able to vote. Like
Yeah, it's crazy. Like it's like, why is your sexual anatomy like a burden, you know?
Yeah.
Like
and that when you have sex, it's not about you at all.
Yeah.
It's about someone taking something from you.
Yes.
And it causing you no pleasure.
Yep.
And it's literally them pleasuring themselves
Through you.
Through you. And that apparently is a beautiful thing. What the fuck?
Fucking segue of the year right there. So
Mhm.
let's talk about how virginity is a social construct.
Yeah.
Who agrees? Just curious. Let's test the waters. Is
Agrees about what?
virginity being a social construct?
So explain that to me.
Okay. So the idea of virginity is that at some point, and this goes for everybody, regardless of gender, regardless of genitals, that you're like you just have never had sex. You're like you're pure. You've never, you know what I mean? And then we could take a step back even further and say, what is sex? Actually, let's start there. What is sex? So I feel like a lot of us grew up thinking of sex as like penis and vagina intercourse between a man and a woman. Again, whatever the fuck that means, because like that's not the reality of what people are. But that's not sex. You know?
Not at all.
Yeah, like I've asked people before, like, oh, like what was your first time like? And sometimes the response is like with a man or with a woman, like, what do you mean? Like, and essentially what they're asking me is, what does sex mean to me? You know, and just like, do I adhere to that standard? But I don't think that is sex. I think sex is like engaging in like sexual activity with somebody else or yourself.
But even think about when you were told about sex and what sex even is
between a man and a woman.
Between a man and a woman, and by that age, you already have so many like ideologies and morals, and like you have all these constructs of what it is based on your Bible books or like
the
TV
mistakes that your parents made, quite frankly.
literally TV shows. Like you already have this crazy look on it
that you carry on when you're actually going through it.
That's the beauty about being able to grow up, though.
Mhm.
It's I don't want to get too off topic because that brought me to a whole nother place about like racism. People say that racism like will end at some point because we're all so much more like aware, but it's like those things get passed on through bloodlines and families. You know what I mean? Like Timmy doesn't fucking
Trauma is literally carried through generations.
Yeah. It's like but it's crazy that you say that, but that's the beauty of being able to like wake up and be your own person is because you realize, oh, like this isn't my reality, and like.
But sometimes when you're coming from such a religious family, like that shit is rooted.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can't just like wake up and realize it's like it changes your decisions and what you want.
Yeah.
When you don't even know. It's like subconscious.
And I absolutely want to get there because it affects the way that we feel when we do have sex for the first time and like how we view ourselves and like how, you know what I mean? Like the reasons why we have sex and like what reasons are okay and what reasons aren't okay. So absolutely. And it's never easy. I just definitely I think we all personally have like found strength in who we are as sexual beings now.
Totally.
And that's like huge, like so huge.
Yeah.
So what is sex? Sex for me is just engaging in sexual activity, like sexual intimacy. So whether that be like oral or like I know there's a fucking fly, bro.
Jade is just trying to talk. She's like
YMCA over here. It just engaging in like physical intimacy with somebody else. There are different kinds of sex. There's obviously like specific like described sex, so like oral sex, phone sex. I think that's oral sex, phone sex, and sex. Okay.
I'm like, how you like brought up phone sex? I never would have.
I was thinking of all the different ways.
Oh, yeah, sexting.
Sexting.
Totally.
I'm thinking of all the different ways that people can have sex without even being physical. You know, so it's just like it's. I think that definition is ever changing and open ended, and I think again that's beautiful. You guys are,
I'm having eye sex with you.
I'm having eye sex with you.
you guys are disgusting.
That's so funny.
Stay tuned for our orgy.
Yeah.
For real.
It's true.
Will it be eye sex? We don't know. Yeah, I feel like it's ever growing, ever changing. So I don't know. What do you guys feel about that?
No, I agree with you. I mean,
I feel like I'm giving a presentation, but I'm loving it. I really am.
Pulls out the PowerPoint presentation.
Literally.
Well, growing
This
up,
is my territory.
again, and you can attest to this, I was told that, you know, 1, sex before marriage is a no-no. 2, sex has to be between a man and a woman. And 3, like, losing your virginity is penetrative sex with the opposite sex.
Which is fucking crazy.
Do I agree with that? No.
Yes,
But that's what I was taught growing up.
And same.
But I think you can lose your virginity the way you just said, having sexual encounters with anyone.
Yep.
As long as it's consenting.
Yep.
It's
of
so
course. Yes,
crazy.
and that's a...
Nobody, like, in my entire life explained to me what sex with 2 females was like.
Yes.
Or 2 males.
Yeah.
Nobody, literally, I had to find that out for myself talking with friends.
Yeah.
Like, my mom never said anything. My dad sure as fuck never said anything.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
also,
Bless his
it
heart.
wasn't said to me by any adult ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where sex was like, or like older brother, or like, that's crazy.
And if it was in a negative way.
Yeah. It was like,
Yeah.
oh, he fucked her.
Or like, oh, she's gay, or whatever.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
she's a rug muncher.
Yeah.
You know?
That's
Or, like,
horrible.
Yeah. Oh, tell me you haven't heard it though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's just. I mean, it's been said.
Yeah.
My sister to this day just says that to me. She's like, "Oh,
Oh
so
my
you're gonna
God.
munch some rug?" I'm like, "Probably, actually." But so yeah, like what is sex, and then what is virginity given those circumstances, given that sex doesn't have to be penetrative, given that sex doesn't have to be like another person, like masturbation is considered like sex with yourself, you know what I mean? Like given that you could have toys involved, you could have space involved, like, you know, like there are different categories, and it's just like up to you to like decide what that means and like how important it is. So kind of transitioning to virginity, like you can, as somebody like with a vulva, I'm just not going to say woman because I know it's not like a reality, but you can break your hymen during penetrative sex, and that's something that's irreversible. So it's considered like a change in your body, and I think that's what people like to claim.
But you can also break it riding a bike.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And you can also like never break your hymen.
You got a strong ass hymen.
Yeah. Like I just feel like it's not black and white. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or you might not even notice. Like there might not be like, that much
I
blood.
think I had the tiniest bit of blood when I broke.
Like
tiniest.
Can it break multiple times or just one?
I don't think it can break multiple times. Unless I don't know what your hymen looks like, to be completely honest.
She's like, but I want
but yeah, let me stare into your whispering eye. I imagine if there was some sort of like partial tear and then a complete tear, like but it's like I feel like that's what people like to claim the concept of virginity comes from, because it's like science, you see the irreversible change, like when your balls drop.
They even tell you like what happens when you break your hymen. They just say there's like blood. It's like what? Where? Why? Is it like a period?
Yeah. It's like just and you could bleed for so many other reasons too. It's just like it doesn't really make sense. But like of all things we learn about virginity is like the last thing we learn is when you like know that you want to have sex. You know what I mean? Like, or it's always up to like the circumstances and not like how you feel. You kind of like touched on this a little bit, Emily. So like, and so did you, Maddie, like saving for marriage, or it has to be with this one person or anything like that. But none of that actually indicates how you feel. You know what I mean? Like, or even just like what constitutes consent. Because like I was reading something the other day and it was like wetness does not constitute consent. You can be physically, and you can be physically turned on and be fucking squishy down there. But that doesn't mean you actually want to fuck.
No, you can have an orgasm while you're being raped. Like, you know, it's not a combined thing.
Yeah. Whoa, that's
mutually exclusive.
Oh, she used it.
That's the word.
Just drops this huge heavy bomb and then mutually exclusive biology 10. We love that. But it's just kind of trippy to me, like the concept of sex itself and the concept of virginity itself, because like you really don't like lose anything, but you're treated as if you are suddenly a different person. This just kind of reminds me, it's a little bit off topic again, but when my sister got her period, I think I mentioned this on the pod before, but it was like the middle of the night, kind of, or like me and my sister were going to bed and we shared a room, and she gets her period and she tells me, "It's like, no way, tell mom." My mom comes in and she's like almost like mad at my sister, and I'm just watching this interaction happen. And I'm like, is she getting in trouble? Like, I was like, whoa, like, and I think my mom is just like overwhelmed and scared, and like she can get pregnant now. I better scare sex out of her, you know? And like I was like, what? Oh well, your sister's probably like, well, what's happening to me?
Yeah,
like walk through it, you know?
God.
Yeah,
I was just gonna say, what was your guys's like introduction to periods?
Like your first period, or like?
Yeah, like did your mom
my
explain it? Did you really know what was happening?
Okay, well I can start. In grade 6, we got a puberty like presentation, and they split the girls from the guys.
Yep.
And they went through like your menstrual cycle. You got like a little sample pack of like pads.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure my parents may have briefly talked about it. And then that same year, I got my period at band camp.
Oh, band camp. What other dirty things did you do at band camp?
Nothing.
Before you got your period. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, no, nothing exciting. But yeah, I didn't really get a lot of information. At least that I can remember.
Yeah.
That was also many years ago, but yeah, just one presentation and then maybe a quick talk from my parents.
God.
Yeah.
Periods were just not, because like it was my dad at that time, and periods were not talked about whatsoever. So it was just like my mom bringing me pads,
Yeah.
dropping them off
Yeah.
at my dad's house.
What about virginity? Like, what about
Yeah.
the conversation? Because this is something I wanted to ask. The conversation of losing your virginity. What was that like?
Oh
Was
my
it?
God, I have the funniest story.
Oh.
Okay, so growing up, I don't know what the, like, oh god, this is so embarrassing, but it's fine. I'll share it on the pod. Everyone was always like talking about how you're gonna have like the talk with your parents. Like it was always this big thing, and everyone at school would be like, "Have you had the talk yet? Have you had the talk yet?" And I didn't have the talk. No one was giving me this talk, and I was stressed out. I was feeling left out. FOMO hard as hell. I go home. I'm like, Mom, like everyone's saying like you're gonna have the talk with me, and like we haven't had this talk. Like what's going on? And then she started talking about like sex, and then she just like started giving me the sex talk and like everything, and I was like, this isn't what I wanted.
You're like, I thought I was adopted.
Yeah. Like I expected this talk to be like this big magical thing. It was like telling me like the meaning of life basically, and then we started talking about sex, and I was like, take it back. Yeah.
You're like, this is what everyone's been talking about?
Yeah, and I went to my friends and I was like, really? Like
Wow.
Yeah,
but
that's
that was my introduction to what sex was.
Yeah.
The talk.
Talk.
the talk.
Literally. Mine was the special hug.
Yeah, we talked about the special hug.
The special hug, I've talked about the book that my dad gave me, bless his heart, tried his best, but it was just like when you marry someone and you want to have a child, just bullshit like that. Never anything about pleasure, never anything about like safe sex. This is what you should expect. This is what you might feel. Like it was like, this is how you have a baby.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, as if
Fair.
that's the only purpose. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, people still to this day don't think the female orgasm is real.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Fucked up.
For me, I mean, yeah, got the talk, but
Did you ask them for the talk?
I did not. I
Okay.
did not.
I would have been like you and asked, like, what is going on?
I was just, sorry, that brings up a lot.
I don't remember a lot of it. Yeah, the talk, but I remember my parents telling me over and over again, you can't have sex till you're married, like having sex before marriage is bad and God doesn't like that and da, 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 da. And I remember when I went on birth control for the first time, I was pretty young, but it was for medical reasons, and my mom told me, this isn't an excuse for you to start having sex.
I got that too.
Yeah,
I got that
same.
too. This isn't an excuse. Just because Emily's doing it doesn't mean you should be.
That's
And yeah, literally. You're like, oh my god, you can start having sex.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my god, how big is this dick? We're like, the size of my arm.
literally.
Was your okay? So, I guess this kind of segues to this. Why do people care so much about what other people do with their bodies? Like, why do you think that is? Like, what is the idea behind it? Because we talked about purity.
Yeah.
I think there's just so much that has been like a stigma, and then this idea that society has created over a period of time that has just stuck. You know, you hear it in music, you see it in TV, on movies, you hear your friends talking about it. It's just pretty much pushed down our throats, and from a young age. So,
And it's just like the education we've been given, every single person for generations. And I don't mean education from like schools, but like what you see in movies, what you're told by people around you, friends, families, like that just recently started shifting.
Yeah.
And it's
Thank
not even like,
God.
thank God, and we're still so far behind everything else. And it's just starting to shift, thank God, but it's not fully transitioned yet. Like, parents are still having no conversations with their kids. Like, that's still happening.
if I had a teenage daughter and she goes, Mom, I'm gonna have sex for the first time, what do? I'd be like, okay,
You bust that pussy open.
why not? Might as well give him a hand.
And like,
Yeah.
but talking to your child about their own pleasure and being able to enjoy it, and if that's what you're gonna choose to do, like, be safe about it.
Yeah.
And at what age do you talk to your kid about it? Because
As soon
it's a
as you
lot.
see them start playing with their junk in the living room.
That's true.
Like, honestly.
That's true.
I was listening to this podcast a long time ago. It's like an Amber Rose podcast, and she's talking about her son, like, pulling on his dick in the living room. I don't know why I stuttered. Dick in the living room. And she was like, okay, like, that's totally cool. Probably feels a little good, too. But I'm going to ask that you don't do that in the living room. You do that when you're alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an introduction to masturbation right there.
Yeah.
Because, what is it? Babies masturbate in the room?
I believe it.
Yeah,
Literally.
I believe it.
Like, what? I think it really comes down to this idea of ownership. So, as parents, you think you can control what your kids do. So if you control them the right way, they won't end up as fuck ups. For like people with vulvas, like it's just like, I think that's just super systemic. Like just the ownership of women and like femme presenting people, and you know what I mean. It just that they're lesser or you know just gender roles in general. Like just that there's a power dynamic there. So it's like, oh, of course women don't have orgasms. It was actually the female orgasm was used as like a therapy for crazy housewives. You know what I mean? Like it's always been like a power dynamic. Like of course they couldn't.
That's literally how they advertised the first vibrator.
Yeah, it's literally it's ownership, and that's so crazy. And you can't own another person, and that's something to be taken with you in relationships, and if you choose to have kids, and you know what I mean, like in work settings and stuff like that. Like you cannot change other people. You also like just furthermore cannot control other people or own other people. So to like let people explore and to understand that whether that's scary or happy or whatever, you're gonna have to let your kids do what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
The best thing you can do is arm them with the information to be smart, because everyone's always like, oh, but the world's a scary place. That was like where my sex conversations and virginity conversations came from, is like just be careful, beware, because not everyone's nice.
And it's how much worse is it to be put in a world with no tools in your toolbox to be able to like work in that world that you're in.
I got taught how to defend myself much sooner than I got taught to like, I don't know, like pick out a guy that's worth my time or a person that's worth my time. You know what I mean? Like I got taught more about defense than like good qualities in another human being. I feel like, you know what I mean? And of course it's nobody's intention, but it's about time that we like say fuck your intentions and hold ourselves accountable.
And like parents talking to their kids about like, this is what self-esteem is. This is what self-worth. Like these are some of the things that you should be doing when you don't feel good. Yeah, literally not just survival. So they feel safe enough to be creative and like it's just crazy the difference that even I was raised. Like
so. That being said, all of those precedents being set based on like the ways that we grew up, or like the media we were fed revolving sex and virginity and all of that. How did you feel after losing your virginity, quote unquote losing? Who wants to start? Did you feel less than, more than? Like, what were the circumstances surrounding that? I kind of want to peek into that.
I think I felt like amazing.
Yeah,
I just wanted. Well, okay, the sex wasn't amazing, but just like after, because I not that I had sex like super late, I think, or I had sex when I was 17. So I mean, later, I think everyone I was friends with at the time already had sex, and I remember talking to you guys about it being like, I want to have sex so fucking bad because I was so sexual. I started masturbating like ever since I was a kid. Like I wanted to have sex, I just never was with the person that I would wanted to have sex with until I did. But I remember after like going to work the next day and being like, like, I'm a new person this week. She's a new bitch.
Like a haircut.
Amazing.
Yeah, like exactly. It felt like a haircut, but not that it changed like my whole life. But I remember after that being like, I finally had fucking sex. Holy shit.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay,
Maddie.
I would say I agree with that.
Yeah.
But I also had guilt because of what I was told by my parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So.
How did you process that? When did that turn into something that's empowering? Just real quick. I want to know the difference. What's the circumstance that changed?
It's hard because I got married young.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a lot of partners before that.
Yeah.
So I would say until I got married, I felt guilty up until that point.
Whoa.
I was constantly in fear of somehow my parents were going to find out and throw me out. Or they were going to take me to the doctor and and find out my hymen was broken. Like
Wow,
that was
people
literally
do that.
in my
That's
brain that they were
crazy.
gonna do that and find out.
Wow.
So I had guilt, but I also liked it too much to just not do it. You know?
Yeah. Well, that's beautiful that one, you've come to this point where like sexuality does make you feel empowered, and two, that you married someone that you love and also like had that as like a safe space to like openly be sexual.
Yeah.
Like a place to grow through. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's amazing.
What about my virginity? I remember leading up to it being like, I want to find the perfect person and da 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 da. Especially because like that's what you do.
Yeah.
And I remember having sex. It hurt, and it wasn't like. I just remember having that kind of gut feeling, being like, and then like up and like I think 2 months after that, it was fine, but it wasn't a good feeling.
What?
Didn't sit
like-
right with you.
Yeah,
shame?
it didn't sit. Yeah, there was like shame, guilt. There was pleasure from knowing that I'm pleasuring my partner,
Yeah.
who I loved dearly.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like for me.
Yeah.
Which I expected, which is the worst part. Yeah.
I think when you know, and I think you're somebody who's very in tune with their body and
Yeah.
always has been, whether that reflected in your pleasure or not, like you just kind of know what you need. So
Yeah. But also knew what I needed, but didn't ask for it.
and that's the huge thing, like get taught to ask for it, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
shit.
Taught to believe I deserved it.
Yeah.
Like,
Seriously.
yeah.
That kind of, it doesn't really segue, but I'm gonna change topics anyways. Did you make a big deal about your virginity? Was it this thing that I don't know, because I feel like virginity, it was exciting to lose my virginity, but I didn't really care about it being like a who, what, when, where thing. I was just like, I just want to fuck. I just want to get nasty. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't in a hurry to get it over with, but it also wasn't like, let's set the stage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so does virginity need to be like a big deal?
I don't think so.
I mean,
No.
props to you if you set it up. It's
Yeah.
magical.
Fuck yeah.
Holy shit.
If you want to.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't think it
A cute ass date.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it never really was for me, and I just am like imagining the ways that like we probably thought that was gonna go.
Yeah.
You know?
Because you're fed all these things
Yeah.
growing
In
up.
the movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone's
Yeah,
gonna
it's
pick
just
you up
not-
for dinner.
It's not the reality.
Yeah.
You try your hardest to make it that.
Especially if you're young.
Yeah, and you're like, I'm
exactly.
not really sure what I'm supposed to do, so I'm just
Yeah.
gonna do what I've like seen.
You just like look at the person, throw yourself at them. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, it's like, okay, this is next because you want it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or you think it's what's supposed to happen.
Like
Yeah.
my partner and I, we went out for a cute date, and it was our anniversary, or like 2-month anniversary, or whatever the fuck.
That's how you get pussy early, is celebrating the months. I'm just gonna say.
Yeah, it's true. And yeah, so, and then after it, we like watched a movie, and that was good. It just didn't make me feel good.
Yeah.
Doing it. So the stage was set.
Yeah.
And it still was.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy. It's crazy how we look back at it now, when in those moments, like, you probably came to school the next day and you
I
were
was
like,
probably
oh my
giddy
God.
as hell.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. But just, like, knowing where we've come from and, like, where we are now is, like,
And how much we value ourselves now.
yeah. And, like, you know, like, I don't know, like, my partner was really, like, respectful, like, somebody I carried with me, but it was just sex. Like, you know, I was probably fucking super excited, like, felt like such a being afterwards. But it was like, it was sex. I came more having sex with myself. I faked my orgasms. Who in the world?
Yeah.
For like months. Isn't that dirty?
No. So this week we're gonna do a story that someone emailed in.
And I'll say.
I was gonna Okay, so when
There was no email.
There was no email.
The news has been broken.
I just won't say names.
That's
So
hilarious.
so when I was younger, went to this party. This girl, of course, it was like
when we were 15, like, oh my god, we're gonna have a house party. All these random fucking people are coming. And older, of course, like, this one guy pissed in a Corona bottle and then gave it to someone saying it was beer.
Oh,
That's what kind of, it was just not good. That was going off on a tangent. But then this guy was having sex with my friend. And they were having sex, and after he comes in, he has blood on his pants, or on his shorts. And he's like, look guys, like, I popped her cherry, just being so proud of it.
So pompous.
Yeah, and it was actually just her period. And he was so happy about it.
I
And it was
love
like,
that.
what?
Especially if she knew and he's
Yeah.
just walking around like all
But
big.
it literally goes back to, he was so proud that he had took this pure thing from her
Yeah.
and was wearing it on his fucking shorts.
Yeah, literally.
Because-
I fucking conquered her.
Yeah, literally, like,
Oh,
oh, I fucked a virgin. Like,
Yeah.
ew. Yeah.
Nasty. Send us your virginity stories.
Yeah,
Yeah.
now I have funny ones.
Yeah. Was it good? Was it bad? Can you have a good first time?
I
I
know.
don't know.
I don't know about that one, but
It gets exponentially better.
yeah,
if you say that.
for sure. Play your cards right.
Yeah. All right, guys. See you next Sunday.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.